So I'm going to be talking about my appointment at the US Embassy for my Q1 cultural exchange visa to work in EPCOT in Disney World. My appointment was 8:30 in the morning on Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you. I got to the line around 8:15. It was a really long line. There was already the line for the 8 o'clock appointment, which was pretty short, but it was past 8 by that point, so they were obviously behind. And then there was my line for 8:30, and then there was another line starting for the 9 o'clock appointments. So you line and queue, and you get to the front of the line and you speak to someone, and they see your DS 2019 confirmation page and the instructions page from when you booked the visa appointment, and then your passport. So once they've checked that, they sort of check you in on a tablet, and then you join another line to go through security, which is a little bit like airport security, but not as serious as that or thorough. You just you are allowed to take mobile phones down. Before I forget, you are allowed to take your mobile phone. I believe you're allowed to take a tablet, such as an iPad in, but if it's got like a keyboard attached to it, you aren't allowed to take that, and you're not allowed to take laptops, but certain electronic items you are allowed to take in. So yeah, you put all your like your purse, wallet, belt, phone, I think that's it, into like a clear bag like you would in an airport. And then your bag as well goes through a scanner. So once you get through security, you sort of go around the corner, enter the building, and there's a front desk, at which point they give you a ticket and sort of stick it onto your passport. And you have, I think you have a small ticket as well. No, it's just stuck onto your packet, and your passport, and then your packet of your documents. So then you go into a big room with a big screen at the front. They've got like the news on, but it's mostly to flash up your ticket number. So when you get in, they'll tell you to sit at the front of the room, because the back of the room's for later, which I'll explain shortly. But you sit at the front of the room, wait for your number to flash up on the screen. For me, that was around 15 minutes. So it'll say your number and then which window to go to. So I think I was window number 14. Yeah, no, number 14. So you go to this first window. When I got there, I handed over my passport, my DS 2019, and the instructions page of the visa appointment. And then he asked me where I'd be working, so I said Disney World. He said, "Oh, you've worked there before?" And I said yes, because I have on the international college program. Excuse me. And then he asked me for my I-797, which for the Q visa is the visa document. So I handed that over to him. That was the only other thing he asked for. I went with so many documents that I didn't need, but I mean, take anything that you feel you may need. But that was the only thing that he asked me for. He went away for a minute, which was a bit worrying, and then he was sort of conferring with one of his colleagues, asking her a question about my I-797, at which point I started to panic, thinking, have I brought the wrong thing? I mean, it clearly says I-797, but I do worry. And I thought I heard her say, "Oh, it's not valid for entry." So I, freaking out, but she actually just wrote on the top of my DS 2019 confirmation page, "Do not send back for expiry date." So I'm hoping it just means that, I don't know. I'm hoping it's okay. I mean, they kept my passport, so. Anyway, so he was like, "Yeah, just go back to," well, he told me to join a queue, but when he tried to join the queue, there's these frantic ladies running around. They're like, "No, don't join the queue. You need to come over here. The queue starts here." So that's what the back half of the room is for. There's like rows of seats, and so you'd sit down in a space on one of the rows, and they're filling the rows up, so you couldn't just sit anywhere. You had to join and try and fill the gaps. Then you got given a little yellow ticket if you were sat on the right hand side of the row, which I was. And then eventually, when the queue that you're initially told to join gets a bit shorter, they'll pick up one of the rows. They'll shout out the yellow ticket number. So join that queue. So got straight to, that went down pretty quickly. Again, this was probably another 15-20 minutes of waiting after being seen at the first window and being sat down in the rows. So I got to the front of the queue, and that's when you hand over. So you get back from the first window. They give you back your passport and your documents, but they put it in like a little plastic wallet for you. So you go sit down. Done that, and then you get into the front of the queue, and that is when the interview takes place. So I handed all my documents over, and So the lady that interviewed me, first of all, she said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "In America or right now?" And they don't like jokes. She said, "Yeah." So I said, "I'll be working in the Historical Research Centre, a shop in EPCOT in Disney World." And she said, "How long will you be doing that for?" I said, 15 months. She said, "Oh, that's a long time." I said, "Yeah." And then she said, "Are you in school?" So I said, "Yes." She said, "What are you studying?" I said, "Psychotherapy." She said, "That's not really related to what you're doing." I was like, "Oh, well, I studied philosophy before psychotherapy." I said, "So there's a connection there." And she went, "That's a bit of a stretch, dear." Then she threw my documents in a pile and said, "You're done." I was like, "Oh, is that everything?" She was like, "Yep." I'm like, "Okay." So I left, and then I'm thinking, is it approved? Or so I went back to the front desk that you get the ticket from on the way in, because you also go out that way. So I said, I don't know if it was approved or not. And she said, "Well, did you keep your passport?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, it'll be approved then." And then I can't remember whether she said it was either 3 to 5 days or 5 to 7 days. You should be receiving an email saying that your passport's on its way and you'll be able to track it, because they drop it off at a location near you. There was a point that you could have paid extra to have it delivered to your house, I believe. I just assumed you did that at the embassy, because the last time I was in the embassy, that's how it worked, I'm pretty sure. But there wasn't an option for that, so it's just getting delivered to a place called Normanton, which is the closest one to Leeds, if anyone is interested, I believe. It's the closest one to me anyway, and I'm in Wakefield. So yeah, now it's just a wait for the passport to come back, which is pretty exciting. Hopefully the visa will be in it. I mean, yeah, so they don't really like to say, "Yeah, you're approved, congratulations," or it's not a celebration or anything like that. They're pretty serious in the embassy, so yeah, don't crack any jokes. If you have any questions at all about that or anything else, I will be making videos about the program that I'm going to be doing. So yeah, just leave any questions in the comments below, or feel free to message me. Yeah, speak soon. Bye.